Let's chat about JD Vance. As most of you probably know, JD Vance has been tapped as Donald Trump's running mate, presumptive vice president, assuming Trump wins um, the whole thing. Um, JD Vance is an idiot. He's not a serious person. Um, I don't want to talk about his politics too much because he's really not that interesting. He started out as a never Trumper, and he gave up on that when he realized that he can't be a Republican and have any power as a never Trumper. He's got to kiss the ring. So he spent the last few years being extra nice to Trump, we'll say, um, and turning himself into a true blue MAGA Republican, true red, I guess, true blue. He turned himself around. He got to know Trump intimately, and now he's been tapped as Trump's running mate, which is fine. It doesn't really matter. He's going to end up being betrayed and discarded by Trump, as virtually everyone in Trump's orbit will be. JD Vance doesn't matter. He's dumb. He has no um, he has no political savvy. He's an idiot. He is towing the party line. Um, Whatever. I don't want to talk about his politics that much. Um, he was a Marine for a few years. What I've read on that, he was a military journalist. So I don't think he was like on the front lines, like fighting for democracy or whatever. But I don't really care about that either. What I do care about is that he was not a politician until he was scooped up by a billionaire, Peter Thiel, and inserted into the Senate. Um, and now, 2 years later, he's running for um, vice president. So he's bought and paid for by a billionaire, at least one billionaire. Um, so anytime he talks about uh, being for the working man or coming from humble beginnings and how um, it's so incredible that in this country you can come from nothing and achieve power and make your dreams come true. It's all crap, because he was scooped up by a billionaire and just kind of placed where he is now. So um, not a serious person, just an idiot. He's a figurehead. I think the only reason he's been tapped as VP is because his wife is uh, South Asian. Um, so it kind of, Kamala is a South Asian woman. He has a South Asian wife. So maybe they won't be able to say he's racist. That's kind of my take on the whole thing is if they get in a VP debate, she can't just be like, well, you're a racist. Because I have a South Asian wife, so obviously I can't be racist. Um, I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe I'm just really cynical. But regardless, he does suck. He is an idiot. He spoke at the RNC this past week, just a few days ago, to accept the nomination for VP, and the speech was a mess. It was a mess. It was mostly about immigrants, as the whole party platform basically is now for Republicans. It's Republicans are stealing your jobs. At one point, he said that we're having a housing shortage because there were too many illegal aliens coming across the border and taking our housing. So that that's actually a new one for me. I hadn't heard that the housing crisis was caused by immigrants, um, but I guess that's a thing now. Instead of actually debunking any of the crazy bullshit that he said in this speech, I just want to kind of go over some of the funny clips, and just kind of make fun of him. The crowd at the RNC, it's like I don't know, it's like a Sooners game. They have the intellectual, emotional maturity of like young high school kids, not even like seniors, but like young high school kids, and it's all practically like all white people like in their 80s is what it looked like. Um, but there's some funny clips. So I'm just gonna put some of those in, and we'll kind of go through them. The first clip, pretty much as soon as he takes the stage, he starts talking about Ohio, how he's from Ohio and how Ohio's so great, and the crowd starts chanting OHIO, and he gets really into it and he starts chanting back. It's stupid, but you kind of have to buckle up and just kind of accept that the chanting's going to happen, because it happens a lot.
OHIO, OHIO.
So the next clip is I just titled it Weird Dude, and I don't really have a reason why I clipped this, except that this dude looks real weird. You'll see what I mean. The next clip, they are chanting fight, 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 but it's not like the cool fight, 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 like, when you see two people arguing. It's they're responding to the assassination attempt on Trump when he was like fight, fight. So it's not that interesting, but just another instance of them chanting. The next clip, he says that Republicans are the party of free speech and the open exchange of ideas, which I guess, as long as you're not talking about queer issues, because you're not allowed to, or any actual factual information, because that's all off the table.
That's the Republican Party of the next 4 years. United in our love for this country and committed to free speech and the open exchange of ideas.
The next clip, they just chant JD, 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 and they do that a couple times. It's not that interesting, but I want to put in all the times that they chant, because it's quite a lot. And when you put them all together, it feels a little crazy. The next clip, he talks about his mama, and his mama is an important character in his life, who doesn't sound very interesting. She sounds like every Southern stereotypical grandma that you've ever heard of, but he tells a story of her threatening to run over one of his friends. And then the crowd starts chanting, "Mama, Mama." It's real weird.
Now, she once told me, when she found out that I was spending too much time with a local kid who was known for dealing drugs, that if I ever hung out with that kid again, she would run him over with her car. That's true. And she said, JD, no one will ever find out about it.
The next clip is another chant, but this is a twofer. They go Ohio or OHIO again. They do that chant again, but then I guess there's another school there that has a rivalry, and so they start chanting "Let's go blue." It's stupid.
I'm sorry, Michigan. I had to get that in there. Come on, come on. We've had enough political violence.
The next clip, he talks about the American dream and being born far from the halls of power. And this is, like I said before, he was plucked from his life by a billionaire and put into power. He didn't, I don't know. It's whatever. Stupid.
And again, a country where a working-class boy born far from the halls of power can stand on this stage as the next vice president of the United States of America.
Next clip is just JD again. Doesn't matter.
You guys.
This next clip is interesting in that I think I know what he meant, but he talks about the pride of a factory worker making things with his own hands, and to me it struck me as JD having a fundamental misunderstanding of how factories work.
It's about the factory worker in Wisconsin who makes things with their hands and is proud of American craftsmanship.
The next clip is Drill Baby Drill, just a chant, Drill Baby Drill. I really am tired of the phrase Drill Baby Drill. Trump says it in every speech. It's so annoying. As a side tangent, I feel like Trump has not had a new speech written for him in like 3 years. And every time he speaks, it's the same speech, but he just ad-libs more and adds more shit to it. But it never gets more interesting. He just recycles the same talking points over and over and over. He's still talking about the stolen election and how we were energy independent and we're going to be energy independent again and then energy dominant. It literally, I could give a Trump speech at this point. It's the same speech every time. The next clip is JD says something about how it's a great crowd, and they start chanting, "Yes, we are." And it goes on for an uncomfortably long time, and it's quite weird.
You guys are a great crowd. Wow. And
the next clip is the crowd chanting JD's mom. Admittedly, JD's mom was apparently addicted to drugs at some point and overcame that. That's cool. Props to JD's mom for that. It's weird to chant JD's mom. The next clip is a story about another story about Mamaw, and then a Mamaw chant. This one's weird.
topic of grandparents, let me tell you another Mamaw story. Now, my Mamaw died shortly before I left for Iraq in 2005. And when we went through her things, we found 19 loaded handguns. They were... Now, the thing is, they were stashed all over her house, under her bed, in her closet, in the silverware drawer. And we wondered what was going on, and it occurred to us that towards the end of her life, Mamaw couldn't get around so well. And so this frail old woman made sure that no matter where she was within arm's length of whatever she needed to protect her family. That's who we fight for. That's American spirit.
The next three are. The next four are all chants. We have a USA chant, a send them back chant, a USA chant again, and then we finish strong with another JD chant.
Yes.
So, after all of that, I don't care. I just don't care about JD Vance. He's not a serious person. He doesn't seem very bright. I don't think he can command a room. The crowd ran away with him so many times. I think there was one clip where he was chanting along. I think it was the USA chant. He was clapping, and he was literally on the opposite beat. They were like USA, and he was like U, clap, S, clap, A, clap. And it was so strange. It almost seemed intentional. But I don't know. He's just not that interesting, and I think it's more fun to just talk about kind of the stupid things about him than actually talk about his really insane xenophobia. I think the only good points of this speech were, I mean, compared to Trump's, it was very short. It was only like half an hour. And Trump's speech the next day was like 3 times as long. But the only good things I can say were he didn't really get into like LGBT issues, which is kind of surprising. But he didn't talk about groomers. He didn't talk about trans stuff. He really just hammered on immigrants a lot, which isn't great, but at least he kind of narrowed his focus and just talked about the one thing. So maybe that's better. I don't know if that's better. That's probably not better. I don't know. That's it. I've wanted to talk about JD since they announced, and I've looked into him a little bit, and he sucks, but he's not that interesting. So there'll be plenty of other people online talking about his politics and all that, unless something particularly interesting happens with him. I probably won't talk about him again, at least too much. I'm not going to go in depth on JD. I think the next video I make, I want to talk about the whole Grindr thing, and how there are so many closeted gay Republicans, and how freaking sad that is. I think that'll be the next one. If you watch my last video about Lucas Miles, I did just buy a secondhand copy of Woke Jesus from Goodwill online. So it's shipping. It'll be here eventually, probably toward the end of July. And when it gets here, I'll start digging into that. I may do the Walt Heyer video in the meantime. I don't know how long it'll take me to actually get through that whole book as far as the research and everything. But this was just a quick little video to hold you guys over until next week when I have a couple days off and I can make something a little more in depth. But I just wanted to make fun of JD Vance because he sucks. Anyway, that's it. Take it easy, but take it.